Imagine a giant armored vehicle thundering across rough terrain, its steel tracks grinding against rock and sand. Suddenly, without hesitation, it plunges into the ocean. Waves crash over its armored hull as it transforms into a powerful combat-ready vessel, cutting through the water at high speed. Moments later, it storms ashore, ready to unleash a squad of Marines straight into battle. This is not a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster. This is the reality of modern warfare. And today, we uncover the story of the United States Marines' newest and most ambitious. For decades, the U.S. Marines relied on the AAV-7 Amphibious Assault Vehicle, a workhorse born in the 1972nd. The AAV carried Marines from ship to shore during countless exercises and operations, proving itself across multiple conflicts. But as decades passed, the AAV grew outdated. It was too slow, too vulnerable, and ill-prepared for the dangers of modern combat, where precision missiles, drones, and roadside bombs dominate the battlefield. Tragic accidents in recent years only underscored the risks. Marines needed something new, something safer, something that could survive the wars of the 21st century. The ACV is not just an upgrade, it is a complete redesign of amphibious warfare. Built by before anyone else systems in partnership with the Marine Corps, the vehicle combines the brute strength of an armored fighting vehicle with the speed and flexibility of a seaborne craft. Weighing over 30 tons and powered by a 700 horsepower turbo diesel engine, the ACV is a beast of steel and firepower. What makes it extraordinary is not just its armor, but its dual nature. On land, it can maneuver across mud, sand, and rocky terrain with remarkable stability. At sea, its specially designed hull allows it to cut through waves, launching straight from Navy ships and storming the shoreline. It is a machine built for the kind of operations Marines have always been known for. Amphibious assaults, where surprise, speed, and strength make the difference between victory and defeat. Inside, the ACV carries up to 13 fully equipped Marines, more than enough to deploy a combat squad directly into hostile territory. They sit in blast-protected seats within a hull shaped to deflect the deadly force of roadside bombs and improvised explosive devices. For the first time, survivability is at the very heart of the design. On top, the ACV is armed with a remote weapon station that can be fitted with a .50 caliber machine gun or a 40mm grenade launcher. Future versions are expected to mount a powerful 30mm cannon, capable of shredding enemy vehicles and fortifications from long range. And because the weapon station is remote, Marines no longer have to expose themselves to fire while engaging the enemy. The Amphibious Combat Vehicle is not just a weapon, it is part of a larger vision for the Marine Corps. As the United States pivots toward the Indo-Pacific, where vast oceans and scattered islands define the battlefield, the ACV fits perfectly into new strategies. It allows Marines to leap from ship to shore, to establish beachheads on remote islands, and to support operations in environments where flexibility and mobility are crucial. Imagine a fleet of Navy ships approaching hostile waters. One by one, ACVs splash into the sea, forming a wave of armored vehicles charging toward the shore. The enemy braces, but within minutes, the ACVs emerge from the surf, unleashing Marines onto the battlefield with overwhelming speed. That is the scenario the Marine Corps envisions and trains for using its newest combat machine. But with every new weapon, there is controversy. The Amphibious Combat Vehicle program has faced criticism for its enormous cost, with billions of dollars invested into development, testing, and procurement. Some military analysts question whether amphibious vehicles are still relevant in a world dominated by long-range missiles, drones, and precision strikes. If an enemy can destroy a ship miles offshore, will amphibious assaults even be possible in future wars? Others argue that the ACV, despite its improvements, is still vulnerable in contested waters. While it is more survivable than the old Yet, for the Marines who will one day ride into battle aboard the ACV, there is no question. They see a vehicle that offers them more protection, more firepower, and more confidence than the outdated machines of the past. They see a future where the Marine Corps remains the tip of the spear, ready to fight anywhere on land or at sea. The Amphibious Combat Vehicle is more than just a machine. It is a symbol of the Marines' determination to adapt, to innovate, and to face the wars of tomorrow head-on. Whether storming a beach, securing a coastline, or carrying Marines into the unknown, the ACV represents a new chapter in the long, storied history of amphibious warfare. So, what does this mean for the future? Will the ACV redefine the way wars are fought, or will it be remembered as an expensive experiment, a product of its time? Only history will decide. But one thing is certain: when the US Marines roll out their amphibious combat vehicle, the entire world is watching, and the message is clear: on land or at sea, the Marines are ready.